Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey in learning just a little bit more of Chinese expressions. And it's not just about the language, about the meaning-making process of this language. So yesterday we talked about the three human conditions that are pretty common, and Chinese pair them differently. So the deaf, we will say 聋子, it's always with z and it's a light tone. And for muted, we always say 哑巴, and it's a light tone again. And only with the blinded Chinese pair it with 人 and give it a full pronounced sound instead of 人. Right? We don't really have a 人, like a light tone for that sound. Always fully pronounced 盲人, like both are rising tone. 盲人 blinded. So out of the three conditions today, we continue with the two, which is the 聋 and the 哑, and oftentimes these two conditions are paired together because if you cannot hear, how can you learn to speak, right? 聋 is the intake, the hearing function, and 哑 is the output, the speaking function. And here we're talking about somebody who is not really deaf or muted. They just act as if, or they're faking it. So 装 and 做, 装作 are the two verbs. 聋 and 哑 are the two conditions, or two object. So oftentimes when Chinese pair, we pair the verbs with the nouns paired this way. 装聋作哑. You can say it's 装作聋哑. It's the same meaning, but we often mix the verb, the action, with the condition next to each other, like mix it up like this. So verb, noun, verb, noun. Okay. Fake comes from this closing sign at the bottom and this almost like a warrior sign on the top. We have the closing, the top is the hat, and the bottom is the collar, the hemline, not hemline, the neckline of a clothing, because ancient Chinese clothing often is wrapped, and then the cone-shaped hat. So that's the full gear, the apparel and accessories in the contemporary commodity category, right? So that's the full outfit. And then the top is pronounced as a 壮. So apparently it's the sound maker, but it carried the meaning as well with it. The left side, the two spiky thing here. Wow, actually it was the bed frame. It was used in other times as the bed frame, but in this context, it could be not just bad, it could be viewed as a weapon because it got sharp edges as type of weaponry. And then the right side is a grown man, actually a fully developed man, because it's the adding up of our number 1, which is this ground, and this number 10, which is this cross. So from 1 to 10, if somebody is fully grown, this person is like developer from 1 to 10. Or this person, we can regard it as somebody who is well-rounded, who knows the whole things, like how to handle things, who can, who is mature enough to make right decisions, and that's considered a 士. Interestingly, this 士 can be paired with both muscle guy or brainy guy, both ways. So we have 武士, which is martial art. Means martial, means combative. Paired with 士 is somebody like our warrior. And then we have 学士, which is scholar, study, paired with 士, scholar. So warrior and scholar both can pair with the 士 concept. So this 士 apparently is somebody who is accomplished or fully certified as certified in, I guess, whatever certification they used to have. I mean, imagine, okay, piano testing from 1 to 10, right? So you're certified from 1 to 10, the whole gamut, you earned to the top level. So that's 士. Okay, 士 paired with weapon. apparently this is somebody who can fight, right? And for somebody who is fully certified or trained or even accomplished warrior paired with weapon, warrior, and that paired with clothing, that simply means for the warrior to go to war, that warrior need to be fully equipped. I wonder if you ever visited a military museum with the ancient military, warrior outfit, the chainmails, right, the metal things, and the gear, the headgear, the metal gear. It's a whole world of how to armor, equip the warrior so that they reduce their chance of injury or even death, because it's life and death, big fat on the table. So they want to max out their protection, right? So this zhuang then came from that process of equipping or armor the warrior of both the headgear and the clothing to protect them. Wow. Okay. So eventually that equip something, fit something out. Outfit somebody, warrior, become outfit, like put up the look of something. Even if somebody may not be qualified inside, that person may not be qualified, but that person put on the gears of that person, of a qualified person, of specialized in something. Imagine, say, a police outfit, but that person is not certified as a police, it's not real police. So it turned out to be take the meaning of fake, like people who got outfitted as such, but not really qualified or real certified as such. Okay, that's zhuang and long. Again, we have this dragon image on the top, and we have ear at the bottom. Dragon is the weather condition representer, a personification or animalization of weather condition. And for an agrarian society, having the perfect weather, favorable weather is critical. And always there is this negotiation or forecast of how the weather is going to be, right? So you take appropriate action on the ground to make sure your crops survive the year. And so, but weather is one thing, at least back then. It was out of control of humans, right? So it felt almost like the dragon in the sky who is in charge of weather conditions, specifically rainfalls, is turning a deaf ear to humans. So dragon paired with ear means deaf. That perfect sense, right? Makes perfect sense. And act, okay, we have a human figure on the side. So this is human figure. And then 做, this character on the right, is comes from two and kind of overlapping. So because it took me a moment to realize what the character is. This human figure, right? Another human figure written this way. This is human figure. And then here, there is this bottom left corner, like kind of stylized, kind of opening up, have a downward slope. But this bottom left corner plus the human figure, the same means death. Because, okay, it's a human figure going to be buried underground. And if it could be hiding initially, short term is hiding underground, long term is death, permanently underground, right? And then there is this horizontal line added to it. So this means the death character and added with number one horizontal line in there. That means all of a sudden, a sudden death. So sudden death, the right side without a human figure, it means all of a sudden. So there is the shock factor in there. It's unexpected, all of a sudden. So I guess there are multiple ways to die, and all of a sudden you drop dead. That kind of a shock death is the character here. And actually, I regard that's a wonderful way to die, because you don't want to go through that slow death. You want a fast one, super fast one, if possible, right? And so this is a kind of a super fast, speedy death captured in here. And then we pair that with a human figure, means somebody all of a sudden take action. start to act. So there is this all of a sudden factor here, even if it's a sudden death. Nonetheless, it's the sudden, the abruptness on the right side, and paired with human on the left side. That means abruptly this person start to act. It was like in a state, and all of a sudden that person come into motion. So this motion eventually become generic motion. It becomes act, like start to do something. It could be like shuffling around. The person doesn't really know what it's doing, but nonetheless, as somebody start to take action. So there we can understand somebody who carry out the act, but may not really know what they're doing, and somebody who put on the outfit, but again, may not be the real person certified to do that. So both 装 and 做 are kind of faking, have that, not real do, not really qualified to do, but they just simply do it and look the role and as if doing the role, but not really, not real. So the whole thing is about faking as if you're deaf, you're muted, and muted simply the mouse paired with this container that got 4 kind of entry point. All 4 directions are blocked, means fully blocked container, that you have words in you, but you cannot spill it out. So there's no output. So that's the way to describe a muted person. So the whole thing, I translate as play dumb. It's not exactly accurate. It means play silent, like play as if you don't hear it and you don't say anything. You stay silent. Internally, you may be processing, you know exactly what's happening, but externally, there's no sign of input or output. There's no sign of you understand the situation and you want to comment about it. There's no reaction from you. So that's the kind of play dumb. It's not real dumb. It's no communication. So basically it's passive aggressive, right? I'm using this as example of when I was searching for 装聋作哑, this play mute and deaf, like no communication strategy. This album from 2001 came up of this Chinese language performer, singer, come up with the title of the song. And the lyric basically talks about, of course, it's about relationships, some blocks in a relationship, and he doesn't know what he should do. Should he approach the girl or should he just stay silent, don't say anything? Even if he could be deeply hurt, or even if deeply he want to say something or do something, but he wants the girl to make the decision where she wants to go, to stay or leave or something like that. So his strategy in this song play out is to play down, to just stay silent, let you make your call. He's not actively inputting anything for her to influence her, but of course it's like emotional. It's like finger crossed. I'm now playing deaf and mute. I don't say anything now. Leave it all for you to make your call. So that's the meaning in this context. But in the language use, 装聋作哑 simply means you see something, probably injustice in society, and you turn a blind eye to it. So similar in English of turn a blind eye or turn a deaf ear to something. Like even if you should stand out and speak out or something like that, but 装聋作哑, like intentionally in time of need that calls for action or voicing, at least, you choose to 装聋作哑, to play as if you don't hear it, and therefore you don't say anything about it, but it is an issue. It's the white elephant in the room that we don't address. So that's the kind of 装聋作哑. All right, cash into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.